June 12th. It's Friday, June 12th. I think the hardest thing about prep or just losing fat in general, starting a program like this, putting our house on the market, all of it. The hardest thing is just waiting and being patient. You know, I personally tend to be like super impatient. I want things to just happen. You know, the preparation phase, getting ready, the planning, the putting things in motion, all of the activity that comes with getting ready for something, that gives you something to do, right? You're in action. But at some point, all the excitement, all the novelty wears off, and really all there is to do is just live your life while you wait for the things you want to happen. And that's the hardest part. We get tripped up because we want to take shortcuts. We want to make things happen faster. We think we have some secret formula, and that's when things start to backfire. So just staying the course, even when things feel boring, even when it feels like nothing's happening, that's actually the hardest thing to do, I've found, in my opinion. I don't know the solution. Like, there is no one solution. You have to learn to play mind games with yourself. It's like you're a computer in a way, and there's programs that you have running in the background. They're like little tabs that are on, but you don't always have your attention focused right on them. You have to let them just process in the background, and periodically you open them up and you pay attention. Once you get your systems in place, your diet, your workout program, you can't fixate on the goal so much as just live the day-to-day program. Otherwise, you'll never actually get to the goal, if that makes sense. Great book that goes into a deep dive on this is Atomic Habits. If you've never read that book, I highly recommend it. It helps you understand how, yes, setting a goal is important, but just having a goal and even understanding your why for that goal isn't enough. You have to build these little micro habits that you just do so that you can actually get to the goal. Like doing cardio right now. You know, when I sit in the morning and have my coffee and sit there reading, and I might not want to stop what I'm doing and come down here and jump on the treadmill, but I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. Because overthinking actually is another trap, gets you into trouble. You think you know better, you start to second guess your program, you start to try to add things in, thinking there's a better way, when simple is actually the best. If you keep it simple and just follow the program, you're going to be successful if you can stick with it. You know, the problem with feelings is they change. So you could feel motivated one day and get up and go exercise, go out and take a walk. But if you're just waiting to feel motivated or feel like doing something, then you're not going to do it consistently because you don't feel the same way all the time. Like this morning, I was sitting in my chair, having my coffee, reading a book, and I was into the book, and I didn't want to stop reading and go get dressed and come out here and take a walk. Even though now I'm out here and it's a beautiful day and I'm enjoying my walk, but I didn't want to stop what I was doing and come do something else. So my point is, you can't just go by how you feel. You have to go by doing what needs to be done. In fact, I distinctly remember some feedback from one of my coaches saying, don't do what you feel like doing, do what you need to do. And that's just a good rule of thumb to go by. You're not always going to feel like doing what you need to do, but you still need to do it. So that's my advice for the day. Go get it. So today is Wednesday, and it's one of my rest days. It's also the day I don't do any cardio, so I only do steps. I'm out here taking a walk. You can see it's gorgeous out today, and it's a good day to be out taking a walk. I'm on week 3, excuse me, of prep. This morning my weight was 138.2. I think I started at 142, so that's good. We don't go by daily weight, go by the look, and we take a weekly average of weights because your weight can fluctuate not a lot from day to day, but it can fluctuate depending on fluid retention, intestinal contents, whether or not you pooped. So those are all variables. You don't want to get too hung up on day-to-day fluctuations in the scale because they don't tell the whole story. So you got to ask yourself, who am I allowing to make decisions about what I eat? Am I allowing my friends to make my decisions? Am I showing up at a party or a get-together and feeling pressured to eat something that I wasn't planning to just because everyone else is having it? Or I don't want to make someone else feel bad because they're eating something and I'm deciding to skip it? Am I eating something because it was sitting there on the counter and it looked good and it's calling to me? Am I eating it because it was strategically placed in the front of the store where it was going to grab my attention? Or because the label looked so appealing that I couldn't resist? Or because it was advertised as being healthy, even though it's loaded with calories? It's Saturday morning, and I'm getting in my cardio before I go work at the Sterling Street Market. I'm gonna hopefully sell some of my skincare products and soaps today. Next week is Father's Day. I've got some nice shaving kits with my handmade shaving cream. I'm hoping to sell a few of those. But along the lines of cardio, I wanted to talk a little bit about habits and routines. It's so important because the good thing about having a solid routine is it takes the guesswork and the mental effort out of life, basically. It's not that you want to go through life on autopilot. It's not that at all. It's just having some systems in place around your exercise, around your diet, around the way you arrange your time. It makes a huge difference, because you think about the amount of brain power and energy you might spend or waste trying to figure out like what to eat or when to eat, or negotiating with yourself about when to go to the gym or whether to go to the gym or what to do for exercise. There's all those decisions. If you can get them made in advance, you have so much time and energy freed up. It makes life much simpler, actually. Maybe you're not even at the point where you're creating a routine about what to eat or whether to go to the gym, because you're not even paying attention to what you eat and you haven't even thought about exercise. So if that's where you're at, then pick one thing. Pick one new habit and work on that. Maybe it's taking a walk every morning. Maybe it's prepping a breakfast to eat every morning with lots of protein in it. Just pick one thing, because I can tell you from experience, when you try to overhaul everything all at once, it might work for a week, maybe 2, but as soon as something crops up unexpected, as soon as life throws you for a loop, you're going to revert back to your comfort zone unless you've created new habits. And you can't create a bunch of new habits all at once. You've got to be patient. It takes time. So one thing at a time. That's really the best way to go. Slow and steady, one thing at a time. We've all got to start somewhere. And honestly, the only place you can start is where you are. You can't start from where you want to be. You can only start from where you are right now. You can have a goal. It's great to have a goal. You need to have a goal. That's like your destination, right? You don't get in the car and not know where you're going to go. But you need to know the how. That's the important thing. A lot of people tell you focus on your why. Like, why do I want to build muscle? Why do I want to get my body in better shape? That's definitely important. But the how, like, how am I going to stick to a diet? How am I going to go out to eat with friends? Or how am I going to occupy my time if it's not filled with social events that revolve around food? How am I going to replace my baking addiction and sampling all my baked goods with something else? How am I going to replace my identity as a foodie with a new identity as someone who's fit and healthy? Those are actually the questions that you need to be asking yourself. I used to love baking. I baked a lot of cookies every week. We had a batch of oatmeal chocolate chip cookies in the freezer. I would eat chocolate chips right out of the bag. We kept them in the cabinet. I ate chocolate like literally every day. I loved baking for special occasions. I baked for the kids. And of course I nibbled on everything I baked. But when I got serious about wanting to get lean and change my body composition and really adopt some bodybuilding lifestyle habits, that all had to go. And I had to find a new hobby, basically. And I'm not sure how I started with making the body butters and lotions. The cool thing about body butter is I still get to use my mixer. I use my KitchenAid to whip up the body butter to get it nice and fluffy. And some of them are scented, like vanilla buttercream and cotton candy. They still have that baked good smell to them. So I'm still getting that sensory fix, I guess. I do still bake, but only for special occasions. So I make a pumpkin cheesecake at Thanksgiving. I make a killer carrot cake for Easter and Mark's birthday. And I usually make some type of cheesecake at Christmas. So the baking hasn't gone out the window, but I don't eat the sweets all the time like I used to. And the funny thing about them is I don't really miss them or crave them like I thought I would. With a lot of those foods, they're trigger foods, right? It's like the more you eat them, the more you want them, which is kind of the sign of an addiction when you think about it. Post-workout posing practice, so I can get a check-in video to send my coach for Friday check-in. Going to start working with my posing coach, Jackie from Blue Collar Bodybuilding, next month. So pretty excited about that. But this is where we're at right now. Getting a little leaner, tightening up a little bit. It's a process. Every week is different, but we'll take it.